Welcome back to another episode. Today I want to take a closer look at my favorite semiconductor company, Nvidia, some recent news impacting them, and more importantly, the AI market. We do have some pretty cool, interesting updates from Elon Musk's AI company, from OpenAI, and some recent kind of reports about Nvidia's and their AI chips that were supposed to be sent to China. All that in today's episode, so let's get started. So first, I want to start off with overall price action. We can see Nvidia's back up to $454. I do believe just earlier this month or late October, we saw the stock close to $400. We do have earnings coming out in November, so pretty excited about that. And we can see year to date, the stock is up roughly 217%, mainly because of the huge demand for AI products and their AI solutions in forms of GPUs, in forms of even CPUs nowadays, and also their software solutions. So there's a huge demand. And we've obviously heard from big tech players in the past few earnings that the demand for AI doesn't seem to be slowing down as of now. And this is something we're going to have to keep a closer eye on. But as of now, big players and big cloud service providers continue to invest in in AI solutions from Nvidia.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
So the first thing I want to take a closer look at is this report that came out on November 3rd that Nvidia partners are relocating China-only A800 AI GPU supplies as U.S. restrictions go into effect. So for those that have been following this channel, we do know that we recently had some more AI regulations go into place, and those went in effect immediately, and it included the A800 and the H800, which were GPUs that were only meant for the Chinese market. Unfortunately, because it went effective immediately, now Nvidia has to kind of see what they need to do with their orders that they haven't shipped. I wouldn't say, to my belief, this kind of would be maybe limited to some extent. I don't believe it would be crazy because the demand is so strong, and a lot of companies are saying, hey, look, ship as quickly as possible. So I do believe because the demand was so strong, in my opinion, I would expect the inventory of the H800 and the A800 to be very low because more than likely the company was shipping to some extent as soon as they were finishing producing, right? So I do believe it might be limited to some extent. The other thing is, again, we have this huge demand for AI solutions, and I do believe even though these were meant for only a Chinese market because they were a slower version of the H100, and we can take a closer look at the H100 from Nvidia right here. This was a weaker down of the H100 and Nvidia's A100. The demand for AI solutions, and more importantly, for Nvidia chips, right? Because it is important to stay within Nvidia's ecosystem of software, of hardware, and even infrastructure in general. So I do believe other customers that might not need the true strength of the H100, the H800 is still a nice monster. The A800 is still a nice monster. So I do believe Nvidia is going to be able to shift those sales pretty quickly to other parts, maybe in Latin America, maybe in Europe. So as an investor, I wouldn't be too worried about the regulations in the short term. We've heard from Nvidia in the past that these regulations in the short term are not going to affect their financial results, but we are going to have to take a closer look during Nvidia's investor earnings, what they have to say. Hopefully one of the analysts comes up and say, hey, look, you've been talking about Nvidia, about kind of short-term pain not being impacted, or short-term not being impacted much by regulations, but in the long term, maybe in 2 years out, or maybe a year out, how is this going to impact your overall financials? Obviously, it's going to be bad to some extent. And maybe we might start to see, though, a growth in other regions outside of China as this AI market continues to boost. But we can see Nvidia earnings are coming out November 21st of 2023. So I do want to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think about these regulations? And is this a huge red flag for Nvidia stock in the long term of things? Now, the second thing I want to take a closer look at is OpenAI, which is the developer of ChatGPT, of DALL-E, and various other, I believe, AI solutions, is having a live stream today in about, I want to say, an hour or so. I do believe it's maybe closer to 60 minutes right now. that they are going to showcase their next generation of products, and even kind of what's up. So if we take a closer look here to OpenAI's YouTube page, we are gathering developers from around the world for an in-person day of programming to learn about latest AI advancement and explore what lies ahead. So obviously, if you are improving and AI is going to continue to improve, that does bode well for companies like Nvidia and other semiconductor companies that use AI hardware. I mean, as we know, Microsoft earlier this year explained how thousands of Nvidia GPUs were used to build ChatGPT, and obviously to continue to train the next generation. Right, we are in GPT-4 to train GPT-5, and the future of that, we have DALL-E. Right, for those that are not familiar, OpenAI also has kind of an image generator as well, and DALL-E 3 is now available to Plus and enterprise users. ChatGPT, for example, can now see, hear, and speak. In the past month, there's been numerous updates done to this platform, and obviously that requires a lot of training, a lot of computation power, and the big player here is obviously Nvidia, but also other AI solution. And it kind of just showcases that, hey, look, the advancements of AI models and AI solutions continue to grow, right? It's not a stalemate, not just because we have ChatGPT version 4, like that's it. There's going to be new generations and more tools that come out of this. Now, the other thing I want to take a closer look at is Elon Musk earlier this year launched AI firm, XAI, as he looks to take on OpenAI. I think it's pretty crazy how Elon Musk has so much time. He's running Tesla, he's running SpaceX, he's running X, and now he's going to be running XAI. So we did actually hear some news yesterday on November 3rd. That was roughly 3 days. XAI will release its first AI to select group. This first AI is Grok. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering the name. It's based from don't hurt me, guys. I know there's going to be a lot of you guys that are going to be upset by this. I've never seen or read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. There used to be an engineering buddy of mine that used to talk about this book, and I don't know if you mentioned the movie, but the book was one of the greatest reads of all time. So who knows? Maybe this might be the final push for me to read that movie. But it does mention that this AI model that XAI has created is based on one of the supercomputers there. So it's intended to kind of have a bit of humor and a bit of a rebellious streak. I guess very similar to who this AI is modeled against. But they do mention that Grok is still in very early beta product, and they're showing the best that they can do with 2 months of training. So expect it to improve rapidly with each passing week with the help of the community. So I think it's pretty interesting. They do mention this is the first generation of their product, and it's going to continue to get better over time. More importantly, they do kind of show some results in certain solutions that, hey, look, this AI is better than XAI that have similar style parameters, or maybe even a little bit more, right? So they compare it to Llama 2, 70 billion parameter. They kind of compared it to Inflection 1, even Palm 2, and it does well. They do mention when you kind of compare it to the big players like Cloud 2 and GPT-4, which are way bigger parameters, there is still very, it's nowhere near those levels at the moment. So pretty interesting. One thing that I found pretty exciting here, you guys know I really enjoy the AI market, and they actually talk a little bit about the hardships of training AI solutions, even though to train a AI solution or AI large language model like this, you need to connect and synchronize computation across tens of thousands of GPUs for months on end. And if one of you're connecting 10,000 thousands of GPUs together. If there's a failure mode somewhere, it can kind of create some form of disaster to some extent. I actually do believe we've heard from Elon in their Tesla call that is one of the biggest pains with these large language models or just supercomputers in general. It takes a very long time to get everything working perfectly. So XAI is saying, hey, look, these are some of the problems, but we are focused on improving them. I do believe one of the great perks that XAI has is they have that expertise from Elon in Tesla side, and Elon most likely has some form of talent shift from the supercomputer that was built in Tesla, and obviously they learned a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised if Elon goes, hey, look, you're working here on the supercomputer here. Can you, for obviously a big bonus, a big paycheck, can you kind of also work for our other for this other company that I owned? So I do believe that cross talent is a great tool that Elon has here in XAI. So there are some pretty cool solutions on the web of Elon Musk AI solution, and again, I do believe this kind of just showcases that AI is here to stay, at least for now, and this is definitely boding well for companies like Nvidia. I did have a question though. I haven't really heard from much where or what supercomputer this AI is being trained on. If I was to guess, I'm gonna guess it's gonna be the Dojo supercomputer, or Elon is just renting some space out, or it might just be renting the Dojo supercomputer. But again, because Elon is the CEO here and he has all these other companies, I do believe it's going to give him the ability to maybe grow, or have that, not only the talent that he has from the supercomputer in Dojo and the engineers that developed that, but also the AI community and the AI talent that he has at Tesla. So in my opinion, pretty good for the AI market. I do believe this bodes well for Nvidia. So let me know your thoughts on the comments below. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.